Hi all, and welcome to my fifth lecture on Austrian School of Economics. And the topic of today is property, quoting and referring from the book Principle of Economics di Seyfdin Amos. Let's start with a quote from Hans Hermann Hoppe on property. He wrote, "Only because scarcity exists is there even a problem on formulating moral laws. Insofar as goods are superabundant, like free goods. No conflict over the use of the goods is possible and no action coordination is needed. Hence, it follows that any ethic correctly conceived must be formulated as a theory of property, a theory of the assignment of rights of exclusive controls over scarce means, because only then does it become possible to avoid otherwise inescapable and unresolvable conflict. In fact, scarcity, as discussed in previous lectures, is the starting point of economics and the origin of all economizing. It is the mismatch between the desired and available quantities of a good that forces humans to treat the good carefully, try to maintain it in an optimal condition to serve its function, and protect it from being taken by others. Scarcity is what compels us to value objects, and in valuing them, we develop command over them over time. As Menger explains, property, therefore, like human economy, is not an arbitrary invention, but rather the only practically possible solution of the problem that is, in the nature of things, imposed upon us by the disparity between requirements for and available quantities of all good economic goods. To take ownership of a good is to exercise full control of the services that can be derived from it. Menger defines property as the entire sum of goods at an economizing individual's command for the satisfaction of his needs. By taking property of valuable objects, humans can reduce the cost and time required to perform the future task. The owner of durable property good is capable of arriving at a desired end with a smaller extension of effort and cost than someone who doesn't own the same property. In fact, we can also think of property as a way to convert time spent in labor into future utility. By employing his labor to produce a durable good, man is foregoing present satisfaction in order to produce a good that provides continuous utility over a future period. Man's most basic needs can be met more effectively by investing in durable property. Expending labor to cultivate a piece of land and continue to benefit from it. Owning a land allows long-term investment and the improvement of its utility, more than if it had been left without owners, as a lack of ownership would discourage investment. Now let's move on describing and defining four types of goods and three potential ways of property. So four types of property is physical goods can be classified into four types. Consumer goods, durable goods, capital goods, and monetary goods. Consumption goods are the ultimate ends of economic action, the goods that humans require for their own sake. A particular kind of consumer good is durable consumption goods, which are distinct from consumption goods in that they are held for long periods because their consumption can span long duration. Example of durable consumption goods are houses, cars, television, or washing machines. Then we have the third type, capital goods, are the goods acquired for their ability to produce consumer goods, and monetary goods are goods that are not held to be consumed or produced, consumer goods, but to be exchanged for the goods later on. And there are only three potential ways of organizing the ownership of human beings: self-ownership, communal ownership, slavery. Self-ownership is where a person owns himself completely and others have no ownership claims over his body and time. Communal ownership, wherein all the members of society jointly own all their bodies and decide jointly what each body does. Slavery, wherein a person is owned by someone else and his owners get to dictate what they can do with the body and the time of the slave, from assigning his time to task to inflicting bodily harm. The second option, communal ownership, is not practically workable beyond the scope of a handful of people who know each other intimately, and even then it will not be easy. Self-ownership, this important point from Austrian economics, is the only logical and ethically consistent solution to the problem of human ownership, and it is the only likely likely to result in peaceful cooperation rather than violent conflict. Self-ownership means an individual has full claim over his own body and time. And now we move with the importance of property. Understanding the concept of property makes an individual able to economize more effectively and increase the productivity and value his time. By investing his labor in the production of durable goods, man is able to draw on their services for longer, lowering his time preference in the process of learning to prioritize the future more. When the acceptance of property rights become the prevailing norm in a society, individuals are able to invest in capital goods to trade with others. Their productivity increases further, and the market order emerges. Property rights can be understood as the social mechanism that allows people to hold property in close proximity to others who might want to hold it. As Mises put it, private ownership of the means of production is the fundamental institution of the market economy. It is the institution the presence of which characterize the market economy as such. Where it is absent, there is no question of market economy. So if there is no private ownership, there is not market economy. And now we discuss a bit about market economy, but it will be discussed much more in the next lectures. So the market economy and civilization itself are predicated on the respect of property rights. And it is only when property rights are secure that individuals can accumulate an amount of capital significantly larger than what they can keep on their person for basic primitive needs. Civilized society is only possible when the right to property in itself and object is and object is widely respected, and individuals can expect to maintain their properties into the future. When economic goods do not have clear ownership rights, the individual who happen to use and command them will do so without the expectation of utilizing them in the future, which will naturally lead them to prioritizing the future sale of these sources. This heavy discounting of the future is the inherent characteristic of utilizing resources without a clear owner. And we end with saying that private property incentivizes owners to care about the long-term state of their property and thus to preserve from the long term. So what we learn from here is that property is a prerequisite for civilization, is a fundamental institution of market economy, and it's helping individual to lower the time preference. And lowering the time preference, as we have seen before, is the process of civilization. And with that, I say goodbye and see you in one of the next lectures, and have a nice day. Bye.